we're just approaching now Ikinji. So we had a bit of trauma last night. At around 3:30 this morning, we heard the anchor make some funny noises and realised that one of the mooring lines that we put out had come off the rock, which was over there. The wind was coming on our beam, which meant it swung us all the way around.
He's big, isn't he?
How are we getting on?
Yeah, we're doing good. Just had a bit of a moment. I don't know what wind speed it was, but it hit us quite hard.
It's about 25 knots.
Yeah. So
luckily.
luckily we were ready and we decided to beef the main a little bit, pull it in, beef the Genoa a bit. But we've only got between 16 and 17 knots of wind generally. It hit about 23, 25 a couple of times. The sea is getting a bit bigger. But at least we're sailing.
Yeah, we didn't expect this, did we? Yeah, we're coming up to the headland and we're actually only just going round the headland and into the bay, but it seems to be coming off the land, a bit of Katabatic coming through Dalian, I think.
So it's not a bad view we've got today. We're in a little bay called S06E08, which is near Gojek. The choices today were head towards Gojek if we had enough wind, or come here. Well, I think we made a pretty good choice. Beautiful water, some rocks to investigate, some little tombs, or little caves rather. You okay there?
There's a restaurant round that side, but we're not going for that because apparently it's quite expensive.
Boo! Where are we going?
We're going to the beach.
Yeah, we're going over here, see if we can find a cave. See you in a bit.
So apparently these are the famous caves. It's a bit swelly at the moment, so we're not going to go in. Apparently they are quite dramatic if you get on the inside during the day. They're quite interesting, yeah.
Yeah, the swell kind of puts you off a little bit.
Yeah, we can't get in there, not now.
So what just happened there?
Well, sailing's not always as much fun as people think. We came out of S06E08 and we knew there was a bit of wind as we came round the head. What we weren't expecting was 35 knots. The dinghy was close up on the back. The wind got underneath it, it lifted it up into the air, spun it over and dropped it into the water upside down. And of course, the shape of it means that it went under the water. Pulled all, well, didn't pull them all off, but pulled the fastenings at the front of the dinghy. One of them snapped off, the main one, the handle. One of them is just about hanging off. We managed to turn into the wind, and we managed to stop the boat and get the dinghy turned over again. So we've now got it tied up close, but it needs a big repair now, so we're going to try and head into Gojek and get that done. Stay there for a few days and have a few beers, but it was a bit traumatic really. The wind just hit us at 35 knots. Luckily, we didn't put the main out, we just had a bit of Genoa out. We were doing about 5 knots. but it's not what you want when you come out of an anchorage, that is a fact.
Morning.
Morning.
What are you doing? Where are we?
Go check.
Yay! We made it. Yeah. So we arrived yesterday. Had a nice evening out last night. Met some subscribers to YouTube, which was absolutely lovely. Name of Rob and Lisa. So that was lovely to meet them. And they actually treated us to dinner last night, which was very kind of them. So that's the plan.
Let's have a look at his boat as well. He's got a nice gullet.
Yeah, they've had a gullet built, which sounds fabulous. So we're looking forward to seeing that. Very quiet in town today. Last night was really busy.
So something to remember in Gojek, if you're bringing the boat in, especially on anchor, is the rubbish. You just had to walk all the way out of town just to find a rubbish bin. One big enough to hold a big bag. There are small ones along the seafront, and there are ones in the marina, but unless you're in the marina you can't get in. So I think this is D Resort, but these are villas, and they're absolutely beautiful, aren't they?
Rather nice, aren't they? Very posh
You've got
looking.
your own villa, you've got your own
Dinghy dock.
dinghy dock, yeah, mooring. Amazing.
Yeah, fine, thank you.
That's it, sell Kejstral one of these.
Yeah.
So that's the loose, sorry?
It does move occasionally.
Occasionally,
Yes,
if the
just when
sea's
you
rough
don't
enough
want
it
it.
moves, yeah.
Wow, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so excuse the mess, it's
Right,
work in
it's
progress at
working
the
on it,
moment.
yeah.
By next week Wednesday we'll clean this deck again.
Yeah.
It's a new.
The kitchen, that's bigger than our kitchen at home.
Okay, it's much the same size, but yeah. No, Neil wants to give us this one. I said I'll speak to her, but no, she doesn't want to sit. She loves it.
That is an amazing room.
Really, and you know we've.
It is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, so I'm quite.
There's quite a lot to these gullets.
Yeah.
And remember there's 3 power supply systems in here, so we can run off of shore power, we run off of 24 volts, we can run off of the generator, or we can run off the inverter. So the inverter is 3 kilowatts, so the fridges run off the inverter. So we've always got 220 volts on the boat, whether the generator is running or not. So we can boil a kettle off the inverter, you can blow dry your hair off the inverter. Yeah, we don't have to run the generator. We can run it all off the inverter.
That is insane.
We've dropped the anchor in 12 metres, dug the anchor in very nicely, and then we took some lines to shore, as you can see, tied onto rocks, as you're supposed to, over there and over there. So we spread them out really wide. We've got our own big swimming pool now, so it's blimmin' lovely.
You're not coming in.
So as you can see, it's 43 degrees, 2:30 in the afternoon. So we've got our little tent set up on the front. Kevin's sat on his beanbag in there. I'm just going to go up and join him. But it's absolutely baking. The wind is like a hot hairdryer. It's quite phenomenal. So this is the effect we're seeing from presumably smoke from fires across the hillsides. We're in Gojek and we think the nearest fires are sort of Marmaris area, which isn't too far, it's about 25 miles away by water. But yeah, our sky is changing. It's only about 5:30 at night. There's some fires over on the hillside in Fethiye too, which is across the opposite side to where I'm looking now. So yeah, quite scary stuff. It's a little bit warm today. 45 degrees it's gone up to. The most we've had up to now is 44 this morning and 43 the last couple of days. It's absolutely painful, isn't it?
More than painful. Even the breeze is like a heat gun.
It is. I mean, we spent most of the morning in the sea, but it gets a little bit boring after a while. So how are you feeling?
Hot.
Nice. How you doing?
Cooling down. My body temperature is so high. So we were in the bay with no name, because there is no name on the chart, so we named it ourselves. Been there for a couple of days. To start with, it was okay. There was just two boats in there. Then the second night we were on our own, weren't we?
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was really nice. There was a bit of a swell in the afternoon from about 4:30 onwards, when all the boats are coming back to the marinas and stuff. And that progressively gets worse through till about midnight and it drops off. But last night, it kind of didn't drop off too much. It was a bit of a swell all night. The fire helicopters were going backwards and forwards. We don't actually know where they were going. And there was ash landing on the boat last night, so something's pretty close.
See quite a hazy sky over there.
Definitely a smoky sky. So we're now on our way to Tunay to see if we can get in there.
Which is round, I'll show you round here. So there are a couple of bays. As you can see, most of them have got some boats in them. There's another bay just beyond this headland, and Tun Bay is sort of the next one along.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, well, why not do it now? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.